What's going on, everybody? It's Eli here from TreeFall Studios, bringing you a brand new developer commentary for May's Pedestal of Trials. It has been about a month and a half since I've done any kind of video update. A lot of things have happened. I got really busy over the holidays, and then from there, I just got a little bit overwhelmed with a bunch of different things in life. I continued working on the game, but I have not been able to post as much on social media or as much on YouTube. So hopefully I have a few updates coming down the pipe as this game is wrapping up. There's still quite a bit left to do in it. I am not where I wanted to be. I wanted to already be done with the game at this point. But like I said in the previous devlog, I'm not rushing it, and I'm going to do some really unique stuff with this one. I feel like this game has some of the coolest levels that I've made, especially cooler than the original Maze game. And I'm going to try a new experiment with pricing. I'm going to do a really low price. I'm thinking $1.99 to see if I can get as many people to download this game as possible, so I can see if everyone will enjoy it, share it out with friends and such. So I've got a bunch of updates. I'm going to split these videos into two, actually. So this video will be out this week, and the next video, which is the content is already done and developed at this recording, but I'm not going to post it till next week to try to even it out a little bit. I'm going to show off some new levels that I made in next week's video. In this video, I'm going to show off some new features and some of the updates to the levels that were already in the game. So let's go ahead and get started. One of the main changes this week is the Hub World Select screen. So as you can see, there was a sign here that said Maze 1 that jumped around. That was the remastered Mazes sign that I had maybe in one of the other devlogs, and I've gotten rid of that and decided to do a whole new level select system for Maze Pedestal of Trials. As you can see, it's just so much better. As you walk into the area where you can select the level, the particles turn green, and you can see this slide out UI comes out, tells you what maze it is, shows a 3D UI overview, has a button that tells you whether or not the level has been completed, and tells you what button to press to enter the level. When you walk out, the maze name and the 3D maze fade out, and the actual UI slider image just warps off the screen. So as you can see, I can walk back over here, shows up Maze 3, there's Maze 3. I actually moved this, this used to be right here, so I did a little bit of a design change. I think it's cooler over here, and it was also a little bit of a functional change as well. Also here is Maze 4. You can see as you walk in, it says Maze 4, and you can see just how big it is. I like this change a lot because I really enjoyed having the actual 3D maze right in front of you, just like you can see it here in the original game. I thought that was one of the cooler features about my level select and world system. But you know, if you really wanted to get up and see what you were going to be doing, you kind of have to jump up on the platform and like look at it while it's spinning. So it's kind of difficult to see, and now when you're just here and you can enter into the level, you can kind of get a brief overview as well down there in the bottom of the screen, because the camera is a little bit more angled for the UI, and you can kind of see what the maze looks like that you're about to get into. You know, it works for all of these. It's not, I don't have it all coded yet, because a few of these, like you can see, this one is missing, and this one is the new level that I'm showing off in the next devlog. It's not actually coded right to show up down there in the UI because the level is brand new. This is one of the coolest levels. I'm so excited to show that off. And so yeah, I think this just looks so much better. You can see the level down there. You can see whether it's been completed. So overall, I think this new UI is just a league ahead of where it was in the original game. This is just so much sleeker, so much simpler, and easy to understand, and looks a whole lot better. I think it puts this game at a whole new level. So I'm very excited about this. Now let's jump into a couple of these levels so I can show you some changes. Alright, so a couple of the levels that have definitely been changed and finished off is this Pitter Pot level for one. If you can see, it looks similar to the original Pitter Pot bonus maze level, because it was actually built off of that original design, but I changed it up completely and it's much larger than it was in the first maze game. Also, most people never even played that level because a whole lot of people never made it all the way into the bonus stages because those were locked behind so many of the maze's completions. You had to basically complete the entire game in order to get there. So, you know, this is pretty much new for most players that will play this game. And you can see I've got like hidden coins around here. I won't show you I won't go too far in because it's not that big. You can see it's just a couple more platforms, so I'll let you figure it out on your own. But I just wanted to show it off because not only did I finish the design for this level over this last month, but I went ahead and finished the lighting. And as you can see, it looks so much better than it used to. The lighting is a little bit more realistic. The shadows look a whole lot better. Stuff like that. This level is all set and done with the lighting. All the coins have been placed and all the code works for having this level in the group. So I'm going to show you basically the same exact thing, the lighting and all of that for the 6th maze. This is actually the 5th one now. I've kind of moved some of them around based on how I thought the difficulty was. So this is maze 5, and now maze 6 is the bamboo maze, and it's been finished as well. So let's hop over in there and take a look at that one. Also, for this maze, you need to totally ignore the FPS counter. I think it's still going to run at 60, but you know, this is on my computer and I'm running the video capture software and all of that at the same time, so if it dips, that can happen. But it will be running 60 solid on the PS4, so don't you have to worry about that, and it's mostly solid on here as well. So this level is now done. I've finished the lighting. As you can see, I've changed the texture up to get that 3D shingle effect over there. The bamboo, the lighting hits the bamboo a little bit more realistically, and as you can see, there's a little bit of a bump map on the bamboo itself, so it looks a little bit more textured than it did in the original maze game. And I wanted to finish this devlog on this note because there's another huge feature that this is actually what the whole devlog was supposed to be about, but I got carried away with the UI in the hub world. The new way for this game that changes it, that's different than the original game, is you can place a checkpoint by pressing the square button. As you can see, it's the old maze sign. I don't know if I'm going to totally keep this. I might change him up a little bit, but I kind of liked it for nostalgic reasons. So you drop him and he's a checkpoint. So the way this game works, there is no longer death and game over because it's super annoying to just hit a spike or fall off the maze on accident and then have to start back at the beginning and collect all 10 coins and find your way back through, especially if you were struggling through the maze for, you know, 30 minutes or something like that, if it's one of those really big ones. So now what you can do is drop a checkpoint, and if you die, let's go ahead and just show you that. If you die, let's say you hit one of these ninja stars over here, you'll blink out, it'll do that animation, then it'll wipe back to the checkpoint, you will spawn on the checkpoint, and it will delete it for you. So you can also place a checkpoint, and let's say, you know, you went down a part of a maze that is a dead end, and you didn't know if it was going to be a dead end or not, so you left a checkpoint of where you knew you were going. Well, then you can press the L2 button and warp yourself back there as well, and it will delete the checkpoint for you automatically. And if you wanted to place it again, you can just put it down and then, you know, get this coin and then warp back to it. So that's how the checkpoint system works. So let's say that you die and you didn't place a checkpoint, then it'll warp you right back to the start if you didn't already have a checkpoint placed. So that's a way to keep you from having to restart the entire level, losing all your coins, going to a game over screen, having to press continue on the game over screen, reloading in the level and all the coins being spawned back. So now if you haven't placed a checkpoint, which is smart to do so, and let's say you hit a ninja star or you fall off or something like that, well, you get to keep all the coins that you've already collected, and you'll get sent back to the beginning, but you don't have to reload in, you don't have to get the coins again, so you can just go right back to where you were. So it's smart to, if you see a dangerous situation, like once you get through this maze and up there's a bunch of ninja stars that you have to jump over or jump around, if you think you might die, it's smart just to drop a checkpoint right behind you and then go ahead and try to navigate through the obstacles, and then if you fail, no harm done, you'll pop right back to the checkpoint. And you know, like I said, you come around here, figure out that's a dead end, you can just press the L2 button, fly right back into the checkpoint. So this is just utterly a massive gameplay change from the first maze. I think it makes approachability and accessibility for the game so much easier for all players, and for people who are not totally hardcore into the maze thing and are just looking to have a good time, it definitely takes the edge off some of the harsh game overs that you could get, especially after spending like 30 minutes and having 9 out of 10 coins and then dying somehow. Like those situations happened on occasion in the original maze game. That is no longer a problem in this game, so I think that overall players are going to enjoy that so much more. It's easier just to keep on playing in the level. It's easier to warp through the level and not get lost because you can pop a checkpoint and go down a bunch of branching paths, and instead of having to weave your way back, you can just warp back to the checkpoint. One of the coolest things that I put in this game so far, and I think that it makes this entry stand out for sure whenever I get to the point where I'm developing an entire new game for Maze 2, I'm sure I'll take the checkpoint system and make it even more complex and keep it in the future. But I think so far, it's changed this game completely, and I'm really excited for you guys to check it out. That's all I'm going to share in this devlog. I know I had a bunch of changes to talk about this week, so I wanted just to keep it in this first episode. And the new level that I created is actually massive, and it's like one of my favorite levels I've ever made. So I'm going to be talking about that level completely and entirely in the next devlog, which you will catch next week. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you're excited for this game. If you are, please be sure to follow us on Twitter or like us on Facebook so you can keep up to date with our updates. If you like this video and you see more updates like this and other game dev related content which I post on the channel, please be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. That helps us out a ton. Be sure to share the video if you enjoyed it with a friend who might also be interested in content like this. Without further ado, I got to give our patrons a huge shout out. I've been very busy, so I haven't got to post on the Patreon page or post as many YouTube videos, so they haven't been getting as many shout outs, but we've still had some really wonderful patrons who just continue supporting TreeFall Studios, and we can't do what we do without you. So I need to give a personal shout out to Overhyped Gamer, PLP, Carmen Red, and LV. Thank you guys for what you do for TreeFall Studios. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in checking out the Patreon page, be sure to check out the links in the description below. And without further ado, I'll catch you guys in the next video.